In this video, we will discuss general tips and methods for safe sample extraction using the vacuum pump method. Another method is pulling a sample from a reservoir or sump using the vacuum pump with tubing. Obtaining a sample from the reservoir is recommended only if an inline sample is unobtainable. The fluid to be sampled should be warm and circulated for 30 minutes in order to obtain a representative sample. Fluid in equipment that has not been operating and is cold allows information such as wear metals and contaminants to settle out in the reservoir. It is important that vacuum pumps are used with appropriate tubing. Make sure that new tubing is used for each sample in order to avoid cross-contamination. Using the same length of tubing each time you sample a particular reservoir helps ensure a consistent sampling depth within the reservoir. Aim for 1/3 to 2/3 from the surface of the fluid. Insert the tubing through the head of the vacuum pump and tighten the retaining nut. The tubing should extend about 1/8 of an inch beyond the base of the vacuum pump. Clean the area before opening the reservoir access. Sample from the inlet side of the reservoir if possible, and always sample from the same fluid level. Pump the vacuum pump handle to create a vacuum. Hold the pump upright to avoid oil from contaminating the pump. Leave some air between the top of the fluid and the top of the bottle. Obtain samples during normal equipment operation or within 30 minutes after equipment is shut down. The sooner the better. Again, consistent practices are important. When sampling from a reservoir, make sure that the sample is not obtained from the bottom of the oil compartment or contaminants accumulate, and avoid scraping the tubing along the side of the tank of the reservoir. Note, if oil enters the pump, disassemble and clean it before taking the sample. Do not reuse tubing. Remove the bottle from the vacuum pump and secure the cap on the bottle. Ensure all sample and asset information is submitted using the appropriate sample submission process. This will ensure timely and relevant information. Things to avoid when taking a sample. Avoid non-representative sampling points. Never sample directly from a filter. Avoid taking samples after changes or adding fresh oil. Do not delay submitting samples after they have been taken. Avoid cross-contamination when sampling multiple pieces of equipment. Ensure samples are properly sealed and packaged for shipment. Ensure the exterior of the sample bottle, barcode, labeling, or paperwork are clean when shipped to the laboratory for testing. Keeping your equipment running is top priority. Helping you prevent and predict failures is ours.